Hi, I'm Chris Zaremba, I'm 59 years old and I'm going to challenge you, 22-year-old Dan Wynes, to do the best you can at the upcoming Miami Pro Fitness Competition.
My name's Dan, I'm 22 years old, I accept that challenge and I want revenge this time, so I'm really issuing the challenge this time for you to be the best of your generation because I'm trying my hardest to be the best of mine.
And this is revenge. Hi guys, I'm Chris Zaremba and welcome to Fit Happens Generation Revenge. It's called Generation Revenge, this programme, because it's the follow-up programme to a programme called Generation Challenge, which was on your screen a couple of years ago. And Generation Challenge followed the fitness story of me and a young friend of mine called Dan Wynes. Now Dan and I met nearly 2 years ago in May 2014, and we immediately hit it off as good friends because we both share an interest in fitness and in appearing on stage in fitness modelling contests. So Dan asked me to mentor him for a little bit, which I did. Now Dan has got superbly good at this particular sport. He doesn't need me as a mentor, and we've just become friends as a result.
Now, if you remember a couple of years back, I challenged Chris Zaremba to be the best of his generation, and he also challenged me to be the best of my generation. Now, if you remember back to that, Chris got a few trophies. I didn't, however. I was still really happy with how everything went. I was really happy and chuffed for Chris. He did really well. However, now it's time for a little bit of revenge, a bit of payback. I really want some trophies this time, and you know, I've been putting in the work for them. I'm going to be really happy if we both do well, but I just want to do a little bit better than Chris, just that nice friendly competitive edge, just to help push us both along. So today we're here, we're doing our morning cardio. I've been doing cardio every day for the last 16 weeks, and you know, weight workout as well. I've been working really hard over the last 2 years to pick up those areas that the judges felt like needed to be a little bit better, so I've been working on posing and all my strength work to get it a little bit bigger and just to get it a bit leaner this time around as well.
I want to wish Dan all the best for his competition. He's worked so well for it, so has Chris. Admiration for both the guys, and I want them to do very well.
So obviously this is the revenge apparently, because Chris won 3 trophies last time and he was very proud of that, and Dan didn't win any at all, so we're very hopeful for both of them, to tell you the truth. Chris says this is his last time. I think if they bring an older category in, he may just compete again, but he's been working really hard, and Dan has too, I know. He's put on a lot of muscle, I think, and Chris is going to have to work hard to keep up with that. So I wish them both the very best of luck. May the best man win, as they say, but hopefully both of them will have a really nice time.
So when we get back from LA, we've just got 10 days to go till we hit the stage. See how we both do, wish us both well, and we'll get back to you. You'll be able to see the contest footage and see if Dan actually has got that revenge. While we're here, we're having two different types of breakfasts. We're having an oats breakfast, which is effectively porridge, and we're having a cooked breakfast. When we have the oats breakfast, that's my department to make that. So I make that with oats, with hot water, with some berries, usually with some nuts. If I've got some cinnamon, I'll use that as well to add it as a little thermogenic. And sometimes a protein shake, because on its own the oats is a bit low in protein. But that's what we do when we're having an oats breakfast, and as I said, that's my department. What we're going to do today is have a cooked breakfast, and that's Dan's department. Dan's already started cooking that in the kitchen, so I'll leave it to Dan to explain what's happening in the cooked breakfast.
So one of the most important meals of the day, and everyone knows it's the biggest cliche around, breakfast, okay? What we're going to be doing today is a high protein, high fat, you know, it isn't as bad as it sounds, guys, okay? So fat is demonized for a lot of the wrong reasons. You know, high protein, high fat, you know, is going to give you a really good energy level throughout the rest of the day. Although it's not the only way to diet, you know, this time round I'm doing high protein, high fat. You know, previously, when I've dieted down before, I've used carbs, I've used a higher carb diet, I've used a lower fat. You know, this time round, basically what I'm trying to say to you is, you know, see what works for your body. Try high fat, try high protein, try low carb, you know, just see what works and see what you can be using for the rest of your life, really. You know, I mean, whatever works and what you feel good on is what you should be doing. I mean, so something as simple as 5 eggs, you know, You know, a lot of people will be like, no, damn, that's too much cholesterol. There's no negative cholesterol in eggs at all. You know, that's been disproven recently in a lot of studies. You know, so just flesh it out, put in some veg, you know, whether it's spinach, onions, peppers, season it a little bit with a bit of salt, pepper, you know, any spices as well, just to help make that a bit more tasty. Hi, this is Gold's. This is the most famous gym in the world right now, and it has been for the last 30 or 40 years. Everyone in the world of fitness or bodybuilding has heard of this gym, hence its nickname, the Mecca. Right, so the thing is about this gym, it's really exclusive. It's an awesome gym, so motivational, but they don't like cameras that much. And this is because the amount of celebrities in here, the amount of people who are massive within the fitness industry, and that makes it really difficult to get in and film. So what we're going to do is have a little interview with Mike O'Para. He's worked here for many a year, and you know, he's one of the personal trainers there that we've known and we've met a few times over the last few years we've been here.
I've known Chris about 3 years now, 4 years. He's from England. I heard he used to be really, really big and obese and fat. Now I've seen him in here, and I've seen him put muscle on, kicks ass in here. I see him leaning out. He's getting harder and harder, and he trains really, really hard. Dan, I've known Dan for about 2-3 years. Used to be really, really skinny. I've been watching him come to the Mecca for the last 2 years. All of a sudden, this kid's putting lean muscle mass on. He's growing like a weed. And I really got to give it to him. I watch him train hard. And Chris, the old man, is mentoring the kid.
The thing about Chris, I first met him in Los Angeles, Gold Gym, the mecca of all bodybuilding, probably the most famous gym in the world. And it's a funny story because I was just working out, training there, and one of the front, I guess, customer service receptionists said, "Oh, you got someone asking for you." I thought that's strange. So I didn't really know anyone in Gold Gym at that time. I just kind of come to America myself and was experiencing the gym. And they put me in touch with this chap from England. They said he sounds just like you, and he wanted to train with you, which I thought again was a bit strange because I wasn't putting myself out there as a trainer. So anyway, I met up with this guy, and he was very English, pushing 220, 230 pounds, and to be frank, never looked like he picked up a weight in his entire life. So this was a challenge for me. Because usually the people that I work with, they're interested in fitness, they've been doing competitions or they're already in great shape. But the great thing I loved about Chris was he was very enthusiastic, really wanted to commit and just find out more about health and weight loss. When Chris came back to me, something amazing had happened, and that was he had literally gone back to England and followed every step, every workout. I gave him kind of tips about a training plan, a workout, diet, pretty much everything that he needed. And he really literally did every single thing I said. And the great thing was Chris came back and he was literally unrecognizable. Probably dropped 30 pounds, already transformed his entire face, physique, and his energy and atmosphere as well towards fitness. So that's the great thing about Chris, is that you tell him something and he literally took everything on board, went and did it, and he is by far my biggest role model for look at what you can achieve when you follow the necessary steps.
So I met Chris 2 years ago, and in that time, you know, there's been a few people that have inspired me a lot to do, you know, make a change. And if someone of Chris's age, you know, if he can really get into the fitness modeling industry and he can, you know, create an impact in a lot of people's lives, you know, he's gone from 18, 19 stone overweight, and he didn't even start till he was 50, and he was what, a fitness model world champion by 54, 55? I mean, that's unbelievable. I mean, if you think about it, someone that was that overweight and then went and completely went the opposite direction, and now he's a fitness model world champion. You know, for me, that was a kick in the butt, and you know, I was like, right, you know, I've got to do this. I'm young, I've got my whole life ahead of me. I need to stop being, you know, so nervous about taking that leap. You know, he didn't, so that inspired me, and that's why I asked him to be my mentor back in 2014 before my first competition.
I first met Dan a couple of years ago when he asked me to be his mentor, to advise him on his preparation, his training, all the way up to his first ever fitness contest. I did that, we did the contest together, we ended up as great friends, still friends to this day. Now I'm working with Dan into his next contest, which I'm also taking part of, which is going to be in just a couple of weeks from now.
Okay, so let's talk about Dan Wynes, 22-year-old Dan Wynes. First of all, when I did my first competition, I was nearing 21, 22, and that was young. Back in like 11, 12 years ago, everyone on stage was in their mid-late 20s. So for me, I was young into the competition. Since I've started and since I've known Chris, the entry level, I guess, for guys stepping on stage are coming into their late teens, very early 20s, and Dan is definitely one of these guys. One great thing about Dan is that he's interested in learning, but not just keeping it for himself and putting it back out there through videos, through social media, through YouTube videos, Facebook, and really just grasping every conceivable concept of how to present this information and share with others so that they can literally follow the same footpath, get on stage, experience all of the joys of fitness and being in the gym, and realizing that it's not just about getting that self-fame, which I see a lot of people doing, especially now on social media. It's about realizing what's really important with what we're doing here, which is fitness, health, and just something much greater than how we look. And that I see with both Dan and Chris is something that I don't see with many people. A lot of people are in great shape, they put it out on social media, but where do they go beyond this? And both with Dan and Chris, that platform continues to spread out information, value. If you guys are watching this, of course, check them out on social media, see what they're up to, read their blogs, check their Facebook, their Instagram, their Snapchat. This is everything that I'm doing, that they're doing as well, really putting it out there. Great information that you guys need to be following, listening to, hearing about, and just trying for yourself, because it is what has made us the people we are, and we're paying it forwards like Dan and Chris to be able to show you guys how to do it.
This is the LA Urban Fitness Nutrition Center. Okay, so as you can see, guys, there's so much choice in terms of nutrition supplements out there. But the thing I want you to remember is, I take supplements, you know, but they supplement what I already do. I do not take them as anything else apart from that. It's an enhancement to what I do as it is. Okay, so you've got, in terms of supplements, you know, my nutrition and my training is actually a lot more important than that, okay? So I use the supplements as an additional extra. So the supplements that I take, you know, you can see here, post-workout are nice and easy to choose from. Just a normal whey protein shake will suffice, and that's what we're gonna have in the bar in a second. Don't tell our girlfriends or wives that we're here on vacation. We're here working, definitely. Definitely here working.
So this is the protein aisle of the supplement store, and as you can see, there's walls and walls of different brands, different types of proteins, different sort of constituents in the protein, and also different flavors as well. So Dan and I are going to choose something for today. But one thing I want to say about supplements is people often think that supplements are illegal. They might be drugs, or they may be banned by the anti-doping authorities. Supplements aren't steroids. Dan and I don't take anything that you can't buy in a shop such as this. Both Dan and I are committed to training and to eating very clean and a very healthy way, and taking steroids is definitely not on that agenda. So we'll be buying some more supplements here, but some more protein, but don't worry, we're not taking anything naughty.
Okay guys, we're back from LA. We're now in a freezing climate back in the UK, and it's time for our photo shoot. We've had an amazing time in LA. really good week of prep and stuff ready to go. Now Chris is going to tell us a little bit about what we do as fitness models on a photo shoot.
Exactly. So, really missing the LA sunshine, but not that important because we're going to be inside here in the Zone Gym here in Watford. And what we're here is the day before the contest. The big contest is tomorrow, which is Sunday. Today's Saturday, so since we're in the best shape of our lives, so that's the idea anyway, we're going to record it all in a photo shoot with professional photographer Simon Howard.
Chris, we've shot Chris, it must be about 5 or 6 times now, since his first transformation, and he originally found fitness, got into fitness, and every year he's going to retire, but every year he comes back sort of with improvements and improvements on it. He must be one of my most regular clients, and it's always great fun to see what changes, what improvements, and what new goals he set himself. I mean, since I met him, he's obviously lost the weight, but he's gone on to have magazine columns, TV shows, you know, work for separate companies, do all sorts. It's fantastic. Dan, we first shot Dan last year. He's sort of been mentored by Chris. He'd come into the competition, competition arena like full of young energy and that sort of thing. And it's fantastic to see him this year come back again. You know, still got the buzz to compete. I mean, I saw him at the workshop in December, and he'd done the same thing a lot of kids do. They get crazy about wanting to bulk and he put on, and you know, he had the handsome cheeks and everything. But today we just shot him a day after the show. He's really got his conditioning. He looks really good. So it's exciting to see how he's getting on with the show. And I'm looking forward to comparing the shots this time to the shots last time to see the changes he's made. We just wrapped up shooting them today. They both look fantastic. And wishing them best of luck tomorrow at their Miami Pro. And looking forward to seeing how they get on.
Hi guys, it's the big day. This is the competition, okay? So just to remind you, Generation Revenge is about me getting revenge on Chris. Last time he got a few more trophies than I did. This time, I'm looking to get some trophies. So today, all the work that we've done over the last few months for this competition matters, okay? So what are we doing?
Well, today is the big day, 17th of April, and 6 months we've both been in prep for this. Today we're both going to be on stage at 3 separate times. Dan's in 2 categories, I'm in 1 category. I'm wishing him all the best, he's wishing me all the best. Even so, it's still the Generation Revenge, he'd still like to get more trophies than me, which is possible, his 2 against my 1. We'll see what happens. Everything you've seen so far on the show, everything to do with LA, everything to do with training, even the photo shoot we did yesterday, everything is building up to this one very big day. We're looking forward to it, I'm looking forward to it, you?
I'm so excited now, I just can't wait.
Number 34, Chris Zaremba. Number 52, Dan Wynes.